People always ask me whenever I'm walking around Target trying to find my some food and stuff, they'll say, "Hey Homer, do you know how to make a car in Garry's Mod?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know how to make a car in Garry's Mod." They said, "Would you mind showing us how to do it?" And I'll say, "Yeah, let me make a video." So here's that video. So what you're gonna do if you want to make a car in Garry's Mod, you hold down Q, and this pulls up your spawn list of all these construction props right here. You can make a bed generally out of everything in here if you want to. But be aware that these little boxes right here and this flimsy stuff that's breakable in other games, it will break in Garry's Mod, okay? So if you make a car out of this and it breaks, don't come crying to me because I told you, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to find us a suitable construction prop and we're going to turn it into a car. I think the funniest car would be this bathtub right here. So what I did was I clicked the bathtub and it spawned it in. It spawned it right where I was looking. So now I'm going to equip my side gun by clicking 1 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And I left click and I got my side gun equipped. Now I'm going to hold this up here in the air and I'm going to right click and that's going to freeze it into place. So now that it's frozen into place, now we can start building our car. So what you want to do now is hold down Q, go over here to your tools panel right here on the right side. You're going to scroll down under construction and find the wheel tab. You're going to click the wheel tab, left click the wheel tab, and up here it says a wheel that you can turn on and off. Now what we're going to do is there's a forward button and a reverse button. Now what you can do is you can click this button right here and it'll say press a key. So however you want to make that car go forward, you're going to click that key right now. I'm going to use the up arrow. And I'm going to do the same thing for the reverse section right here. I'm going to left click the reverse button and I'm going to click the down arrow. I'm going to click the down arrow on my keyboard. So it's forward is my up arrow and reverse is my down arrow. Now my torque, I'm going to put it to about 3,975. That'll be good enough right there. My force limit, I'm going to make it about close to 8,000. Now that right there is just going to show how hard that thing's going to take off. That's all that does. And my friction, it's the same as the weld tool. We're going to leave that at 0. We don't want to mess with it. Now, this section right here that says don't collide with the attached object. You want to click that checkbox. You do not want your wheel to collide with your bathtub or any other object that you've chosen, because if it collides with it, it's just going to be a big old mess. So make sure you click that, that way the wheels don't interact with your object. Now, here's the fun part. You get to scroll down through your wheel options here. All these little gear looking things and these tires can be used as wheels, even this little carousel. So be sure though, if you click a wheel, that it's going to fit your piece, okay? Because you don't want this big old monster tire on your bathtub, because you won't have room for 4 tires, you know? So go ahead and find your wheel that's suitable size for your bathtub. This right here will be just fine, I believe. We're going to set this wheel right here. So what I did was I selected my wheel, I clicked it, and it's got a highlight box around it. And now I'm going to attach it to my bathtub. And I'm going to left click the mouse button. And you see those arrows that are turning clockwise? That'll make this bathtub go backwards. We don't want that, okay? We want that wheel to go counterclockwise on the left side. So we're going to look at that wheel. Make sure it's all highlighted, and we're just going to click the E key. And you see how the arrows turn counterclockwise right there? Click that E key. That means this tire is going to go forward. It's going to go forward. That's perfect. So we're going to do the same thing on this back side right here. Gonna try to make the tires even. We're going to click. The arrows are still going clockwise. We want it counterclockwise, so we'll click E. There you go. So now, both my tires are going the same direction on the left side. So we're going to go on this right side of the bathtub. Kind of try to click it in the same spot. We're going to left click. And we don't have to mess with the arrows on this side because it's already going clockwise. And we're going to left click. And right there you go. Now we got our tires going the same side. We're going to test our arrow keys. It's going forward. And we got it going backwards. That's perfect. Now that we got our tires on, we're going to click the number 1 button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to left click. That's going to pull up our side gun. So now we're going to look at the bathtub and click R, and that's going to unfreeze our bathtub. So it's unfrozen. Now we can click forward and our car will drive forward. Look at that. And we can click the back arrow and it'll drive backwards. Now you might be seeing a record button pop up whenever I click my up arrow. That's because I can record demos on here. If you don't have a screen capture software, you can set a key to make little videos inside of Garry's mod and it'll save it into a videos folder for you. But that's for another tutorial, so the rest of this tutorial, just ignore that record button. Now, we got forward and reverse, but we can also make this car turn if we really want to. And to do that, we're going to pick up our bathtub, freeze it in the air again. We're going to click the Q button, go over to our Tools tab, go down until we see the Thruster tab. Now this little thruster right here, we got forward. We got the up arrow is forward already, so if we want it to turn right, we're going to turn forward into the left arrow. And reverse is going to be the right arrow. Okay? So, now that you got that settled, the force, let's make it about 3,008, probably about 4,000 will be fine. Now, you can make it sound different, and you can have a effect come off of the thruster to make it turn, but we're going to make it look real, so we're just going to, leave it as no effects, and the sound will be steam, so it'll sound like psh whenever we're turning. So, what we're going to do is put this little thruster on our front left tire right there. And we're going to test it with the arrow keys. Yep, sounds like it's working. So now what we're going to do is click Q. Go down here until we've seen the Material tab in our Tools section. So here's Materials. And Material, that's called Models Effects vol_light 001. This right here will change our thruster to invisible if you don't want people to see how you're making your car turn left and right. You can click that thruster and it'll change it to invisible for you, okay? So now, the last thing we're going to do is equip our side gun once again. Look at the bathtub and click R. And we're going to hold down the Q button. we're going to get us a seat now, okay? So we're going to go to the Vehicles tab. We're going to select the Chairs tab, and we're going to click one of these seats. You can do either or of all of these, but I want to do the airboat seat because that's the most recent one I usually use. So I'm going to pick this seat up with my side gun, place it on my bathtub where I'm going to be driving. I'm just going to drop him in there, about like that. And now what I'm going to do is click Q, go to Tools, select my welder, force limit 0. I'm going to weld my seat to the bathtub. Going to click Q, go down to Material, make my seat invisible so people look like I'm just sitting inside my bathtub. And then I'm gonna click 3 times to equip my side gun, look at my bathtub, click R to release all my objects, and now I'm gonna click E to where my seat was, and I'm sitting inside my bathtub. And now I'm gonna drive my car. Look at that. Sometimes it'll flip around like that. You're just gonna have to calm it down. But yeah, if you're thinking you're turning too hard or you're going way too fast, what you'll have to do is adjust your thrusters or adjust your torque limit on your tires. But that's basically the basics of making a car inside of Garry's Mod, okay? I hope this helped you out. Please use bits and pieces from my tutorial to make your own cars and stuff. Have a good time with Garry's Mod. Please don't do drugs.
There's a great seafood restaurant right here in the Marina. It's called Grangos.